stay there. Down here. Going that way. Damn it. Yeah, they are going that way. So try that. Yeah. 37 minutes. All right. What are you doing? Beauteous. There you go. fucking awesome, man. So the douchebag that was at the store today, that I was talking about earlier in the last video, it's fuck balls like that, trying to squash people's freedom to speak to each other in the public. And it was funny that I had the camera rolling on the clouds, and I was mentioning to guy number one about the camera at the end of our conversation when I was leaving him. I was like, yeah, I always got the camera going. I gave him the names of the channel. Hopefully he comes and takes a look. But fuckballs like guy number two, who try to squash people's conversation of me even trying to give another person a chance to see reality for what it is. And they're by the gazillions, at least by the 7.8 billion. All right. They're out there everywhere I fucking go. And for the last 30 years, even before the 8 years of finding the true creator, that was 8 years ago. But 30 years prior to that was a long time running of me with my camera aimed at the clouds, what I thought was clouds at the time. And I'm thinking back to the conversation earlier today, and I'm pretty sure I did talk about the geoengineering, chemtrailing, bullshit stories of cloud seeding and all that shit and how they do it a little bit. I just dibbled on it, I was hitting a whole bunch of different subjects so I could read guy number one and see if he was going to be somebody that could even handle what I'm showing you now. I still would have showed it to him. I still would have gave it to him even if he wasn't able to handle it. But he appeared to me to be someone that could handle it. So I was telling him more and more about throwing shit at him and see what he said. He was familiar with a lot of it. But obviously guy number two was also. But guy number two worked on the side of keeping all the truth and reality from each other. Not allowing us. He's the guy, he's the parent, the father, the son, the whoever, that when you're walking down the fucking path when you're a little kid, a story that I always like to use, when you're walking down the path and you say to your parents, I see the images in the tree. I see them for what they are. All the trees. When I'm looking down this row of trees right here, I see the imagery, Dad, right? Here we go. So, Dad, I see the imagery in the trees. It's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast if I'm going to be real with myself. If I'm not going to pull in bullshit stories of elephants and fish and all the other things that are not there, because they're not. Matter of fact, there are no trees and flowers in the trees, which is pretty strange if you think about it. But it's not strange when you know the true creator and you see what the false creator / creator stole from the true creator, which is all around us, all these images everywhere. Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, faces only. That's all there was to steal. There was nothing else for the false creator / creator to steal except these images, and using the true creator's energy, built the biosystem. I'm not going to be able to say that to a fucking asshole like that guy number two. Guy number two is not going to fucking go look, and he's going to argue till his death all the lies he was brought up on. He's not going to go look at things for himself like I'm trying to show you all that we can all do. because we all can go look for ourselves. I don't need this camera to see what I'm showing you. I could just look with my fucking eyes. I'm doing this for all of you. I'm showing you how to go digitally collect the EMNC for yourself so that this becomes a reality and you stop the fucking fiction. How real is this thing? This is the double one. This is the double. So back to the clouds. So how the hell am I supposed to get shit like this out there when I got all these people like in the comment section on YouTube saying all the shit that they're saying to me, right? About whatever. The girl a few weeks back telling me I should quit smoking and my brain's fried. People, even people that do chime in and are trying to have a positive note, they're still bringing all their lies with them. Now that I'm on the moon, I got all the heliocentrics again. Heliocentrics are worse than the freaking flat earthers as far as I'm concerned. They're so fucking stuck in their bullshit stories, it's ridiculous. They cannot get over it, which is understandable because the last, few hundred years at least, we've left the geocentric lies and went on to the heliocentric lies. So, of course, being born under the heliocentric model is you obviously believe that you're on a spinning web pararocket ball spinning at 1100 miles an hour. The moon is going around us at 2400 and something miles an hour. And they tell you about the sun and all the lies with the sun, right? And then as you're raised over the last 100 years, some of you might have spoke out at school and said, well, teacher, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're telling us that the sun is a big ball of gas, but then last year the teacher told us that there's no oxygen in outer space. And that's why the astronauts, when they went to the moon, had to blah, 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 and bullshit this and bullshit that. And then the teacher doesn't really have an answer at that time. It takes them some years. And then even when they come out with their new lies, the new lies, if anybody questioned them, it's obvious that they're fucking lying, right? Because then those questions got answered throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s with a response from the teacher of, well, the sun 93 million miles away, I think they say it is 93 point something million miles away. And the reason why they tell you it's that far, because the size to our eyes, we always wondered during the geocentric period, we were told that they were the same size because the sun is that far away, 93 something million miles away, and the moon being 243, 248. I always forget. I don't care about the math. But whatever it was, somewhere around there. But that's supposed to make it justified in our minds, the same way that the fake-ass fucking moon landing was supposed to be put into our subconscious of our grandparents and our parents so that we would believe this fucking nonsense that they tell us, This is really good up here, too. I should do it. So we keep doing this to ourselves over and over and over again with everything. And the heliocentric model is no different than any of the other religions. The Bible, we were told it's been around for more than 2,500 years, but again, same thing, full of falsities. All the religious books are all filled with fucking falsities, no more and no less than the science. The science is all falsities as well. It's just made up shit that we think, that we believe is true, that we believe to be, and there's no reason to believe any of it. That guy getting pissed off, guy number 2 getting pissed off in the laundromat about the Lion Mama Kona 19 virus. I mean, he was one of the ones that was getting people arrested and arguing with their family. He was disowning their family because they wouldn't get the jab that got proved to be what it actually fucking is. It's not even, I can't even use the words, right? We can't even use the words because if I do, my videos will get deleted. They don't even get fucking a copyright strike or striked anymore. They just, for years they've been doing this. Fucking shut it down. Don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck what we think. Who is they? They is us. We are they. Hi there. Yeah, it's fucked up. So guy number 2, this looks good over here too. So guy number two, the douchebag, he was the one would have been arguing with our families about it all, you know. He was, but that's half the fucking population, and that's only one subject. When we get into any fucking subject, it's gonna be that way. We are all divided. We are we're divided by color, we're divided by nationality, we're divided by language, we're divided by marital status, we're divided by monetary status, right? How rich you are, all that shit. We're divided by religion. We're divided by height. We're divided by weight. A bunch of fatties, bunch of skinny fucks. We're divided by addictions. If you're a heroin addict, you're not really hanging around with drunks and potheads and cigarette bad doers, right? You're hanging around with fucking heroin addicts. So we're all divided, and then even the heroin addicts are divided by what type of heroin they want to do, right? Oh, you're a smoker? Yeah, I smoke it. Oh no, I'm not into smoking it. I'm a real old-fashioned junkie. I shoot it, you know. Right, whatever. And then so they're divided again. You know, everybody's fucking divided. Some people are dog lovers. Some people are cat lovers. They cannot get along. They cannot be together as one. Just doesn't work. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. Let me come back out. So when I come back out for this, it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. Can't miss it. There's millions of people all around me. They don't look. Even when I'm showing it to them, they won't look. That's the worst thing that could happen, is to see it all for what it is. Because then you're stuck thinking that, what do I do? What the fuck do I do? Everything I've ever heard, learned, thought program's been a lie. And now that's provable. I don't have to have beliefs anymore. I could have knowing. It's scary for people. They always lived by beliefs. It's fucking unbelievable, man. It is unreal. The imagery is perfect. I got the filters down pat. All I'm doing is adding contrast to your eyes. These are the clouds over your head. I'm talking to anybody that's listening, for that matter, but specifically right now to guy number one. If you come to my channel, these are the clouds literally over your head. We're in the same town, or we're neighbors, so you're seeing exactly what you would see if you looked out your window and looked up, you know. And then look at the sun too right now. Matter of fact, I was just talking to someone else who made some comments, but watch the crispness and the clearness of the sun. Look how it looks, right? The size of it without the glare, when you got all the clouds in there, right? Watch it. Watch the crispness, the crisp and clarity of the sun when it comes through. Watch this. This is what I'm saying about where they get their math from. Because under the geocentric model, they claim that the sun, everyone down here, the zombie slaves, when we lost the true creator, because that's been 10,000 years or more, we lost them. He's still all around us. The true creator's energy we could all be taking advantage of, but we don't. We pass on it. We go along with the bullshit stories and the lies for some reason, for many reasons. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on that sun, because see the top of it. See how crisp and clear the cut of the sun is right now, right? Because the sun also, by the way, is not what we were told it is. It doesn't work the way that we were told it did. It's all bullshit. So anyways, that sun, at one time under the geocentric model, when we seen it like this, in that crisp and clear image like that, it looked to be about the same size as the moon. So when they started up the heliocentric model, they wanted to have answers for that, and they did their answers in their bullshit math. Their bullshit math that contains zero and infinity. Two of the worst fucking things, the worst trick that was ever played on the human psyche was zero and infinity. And everybody I say that to just looks at me like I'm fucking nuts. It's so fucking true, and it's so easy to see. It's unbelievable. So then they told you in school, the teacher, you said to the teacher, well, teacher, doesn't make any sense. You know, last year they told us that there's no gravity out there. So if there's no gravity and there's no oxygen, then none of this is making any sense to us, teacher. And the teacher had some bullshit stories ready. And the teacher said, well, to the answer to the sun, the scientists have all got together and they call it a continuous explosion. It's not just an explosion, because the question that some students had, should have had, could have had, but then their parents probably would, if they came home with D's and F's for asking the wrong questions, then, there would be a problem there too, right? Because our parents wanted to make sure we were good dumbed down zombie slaves, so we had to get those grades to prove just how fucking dumbed down zombie slaves we were. So we got those good grades, and then and that's how we did it. We had to lie to ourselves, because when you raised your hand and you asked the teacher and you said, well, teach, that's not making too much sense. An explosion with no oxygen, and I don't care how many billions of light years ago you claim that it happened, it doesn't work out, because you said there's no oxygen out there. No oxygen means no fire. They taught us that last year in science class. So no fire, no oxygen, and no fire. So what do you got now, teach? So then they said, oh, okay. So years went by, and they clicking away, and the teachers were probably putting these questions to science, and the new religion of the New World Order, that's fucking thousands of years old, but somehow we still call it a New World Order. It's not a world at all, but we call it a New World Order. It's all order out of chaos, but we'll call it an order. It's all fucking backward, upside down world shit, man. So anyways, then they said, yeah, it's a continuous explosion. And that still didn't make any fucking sense to a lot of people, anyone who was willing to question it, because even a continuous explosion still means explosion, because they were originally telling us the sun was made up of these gases. It was all these gases, and that's what was going on there, right, with the sun, as I'm pointing the camera right at it again. I'm trying to get the crispness, the clearness of it. See if I go in a little further. It's probably glaring out on the camera if I had more. No, it looks pretty good, actually. I'm looking right into the zone with my fucking eyes, as I usually am. I'm going to have a light spot in my eyes in a minute. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, so then it turned out to be they brought in the electrical explosion. What the hell do they call it? Continuous thermal explosion. And that's why. That would explain it, because you don't need oxygen for a thermal explosion. The thermal explosion will burn the oxygen right out of the air anyways, even if there is oxygen, and so on and so forth. So this goes along with all of the bullshit stories. It took them 100 years to get through as far as rockets go, right? Because they did the same thing with rockets. When rockets were supposedly going to the moon in 1969, they were not really set up for the questions that a good human being would ask, and say, well, gee, Mr. Astronaut, once you got past what you call the Van Allen belt, and back in the Bible they used to call it a firmament, and once you got past that fucking firmament, according to the Bible and according to all your science, there's no oxygen out there. And then the astronaut would say, oh yeah, that's true, right? But when you think about it, the next question should have been, well, then if there's no oxygen out there, then your rocket ships are all based on oxygen. The mathematics of your rocket ship is based on oxygen, because it's oxygen particles bouncing off of oxygen particles that are in the air all around us. So yeah, we can see how you get your rocket from the ground to go up into the sky, like any fireworks would do or whatever. And we can use pressure to push you off. But your rocket ships, specifically, those rocket engines, are based on oxygen pushing off of oxygen. They're not really working on airfoil manipulation like an airplane would be, or something of that nature. So therefore, what do you do when you get past that Van Allen belt, Mr. Astronaut? And the astronaut would have no fucking answer for that, because there is no way. So here we are from 1969 all the way to today, where you got other liars, other countries that lie about going to outer space, we're going up there. Yeah. What? Okay, hold on a minute. You're all fucking liars, man. Lying motherfuckers everywhere we go. Anyways, so I'm all over the place when I'm talking, especially when I'm doing videos. But that dude at home right now, we don't have to guess. You know, to guy number one, we don't have to guess that he's at home right now bitching and moaning to his family and talking about this major drama thing that happened at the laundromat and all this shit, right? I'm calling that guy's boss and I'm gonna tell him this and I'm gonna tell him that. And he's not, and then, you know, and then on the other side of the drama, there's me trying not to be a drama queen about it, but at the same time, I have to get a laugh out of it at least, you know? And he's taking up my fucking time, wasting my time with bullshit stories. I gotta get at least a laugh. So I'll be talking about it, you know, and talking about this guy. I keep thinking back and to all the conversation that you and I had in that 20-minute span of all shit that guy totally disagrees with. So saying that inflation is out of hand and we were lied to, that's a huge deal for that fucking dude to have to stand there and listen to that. He's totally against hearing that. He's the other half of the population, as we're all divided. He's the one saying, no, give us more. Give us more slavery. We love being dumbed down zombie slaves. And then something else I was starting to mention when he came over was about the car insurance, how they're putting us out of the cars. We're being pushed out of our fucking cars. Anybody that's still fucking denying that, they've been doing it for 30 years. So then guy number one, you mentioned the factories. And you and I are on the same page with that. How could we not be? I mean, we grew up around it. We've seen it. So I grew up in Holyoke where we were the paper factory of the fucking world. And I watched all my family over a 30 to 50 year period just watch it all crumble. And they gave all the work away to China and Mexico. And we switched over to computer and internet. So therefore paper factories, paper capital of the world. What were we going to make? China makes our toilet paper. China makes our paper towels. China makes any paper products that we use, cardboard boxes, you name it. We have recycling companies in the United States, but we don't have any makers of the cardboard. We'll cut the cardboard boxes when they get back from China or from Mexico or from Venezuela, wherever we got making our cardboard for us, our boxes, I should say. We only have processing plants for breaking down cardboard and that kind of shit here. So this is all shit that we all knew. You know, as we were growing up, our parents all fucking seen this shit coming a mile away, and they did nothing about it. They continued to be like this guy is being, and just going to continue lying to us, you know. And that part is fucking upsetting to me. It does piss me off because more people believe those guys than would believe us. And even if not, because he's part of the takedown process, right? He's only one side of it, right? The other side is going to be, let's say, the conservative douchebags like myself or guy number one, where we're going to consider ourselves. I don't anymore, but I mean that's more the. If you look back at my series, going back 8 years, it was my voting for Trump in Trump's first election that I felt I got fucked. And it was the only time I ever voted in my life, and I'll never vote again because I realized at that time, 8 years ago, that everything's a fucking lie. Everything. It's not just some things. It's not just one politician that might come clean about the geoengineering projects, right? The geoengineering projects, by the way, we can all see. We're looking at it right now. We can all see it. We can all be out there monitoring it and watching it happen and questioning it if we want to, or just determining it, because really there's nothing to question. We can all see what's going on. And we're told with the, I didn't make up the words aluminum, strontium, barium, lithium oxide, carbons, and pull that out of my ass. That is what the United Nations Agenda 21 started telling us 25, 30 years ago when the papers were all leaked. And they told us that that's what they were going to be dumping, and that's how you control the weather and blah, blah, blah. And then as it happened and as it grew and grew, because before the jets, we used to put our heavy metals and minerals up in the atmosphere via smelting. and building things and burning whatever, all the shit that contains all the heavy metals and minerals. The same way that the natives of all lands at one time used to do the same thing using volcanic eruptions, using the lightning that burns down the side of a mountain and that kind of thing. And then they'd realize, oh, I see, fire. We can dance around the fire if we want to make it symbolize it. But point is, fire. Burn these particular trees that contain these certain heavy metals and minerals, and over the next couple of weeks, we'll finally get some fucking rain around here. So we all knew it. We all knew it all along. Just continue to deny it. Science. Science. Fucking, let's see where I'm gonna go. We got like 5 minutes left in this video. It's a really fucking good video. Yeah, it's good. This is green filter over a brown filter. I really like it. And they're thin filters. They're thin pieces of glass. They're just bottles that I got when I broke up some bottles. When I see a bottle and I like the color now, I grab them. I'm looking for some good red bottles, thin red bottles. I have red plastic filters, but I don't have any glass ones because I think the glass is making a big difference as well. If the 100 or so new subscribers that have come over the last couple months, I'm thinking that the ones that are not coming in and commenting there, I think there's some of them that are seeing it and getting it, but they don't know what to make of it. And because I don't talk in my videos, they don't know what to make of it. And then when I do talk in my videos, that's when they run away. That's when people walk away as soon as I start telling them what it is we're looking at. They don't want to know. They want to know that it's God, or they want to know it's a matrix, or they want to know that it's a hologram. Yeah, we all knew that. We were all living in a hologram. Well, no, not exactly. Not exactly, because we are biospecies, so we're not holograms. There are similarities in all the religions to reality. Similarities to reality, that's all. And then if you're only going to have similarities, then you have to consider it a lie no matter what. Because one little lie, when explaining a whole entire true story, that one little lie destroys the entire story. You know, we can do a story about human mathematical skills, for example. We can do a big story on that, how ingenious we are with our mathematical advancements over these thousands of years, right? But it's a lie, because 0 and infinity are not real other than in the human consciousness. In other words, there is no 0 or infinity in the true creator's work. There is no 0 and infinity in the false creator/creator's work. Therefore, we use 0 and infinity to do all of our math, measurements, tape measures, measuring temperatures, gauging circumferences. So you think of all of the fucking things that we use this false math to do. Our geology, geometry, all mathematical science backing medicine, science and medicine, all lies because of that 0 and that infinity. And nobody wants to see that. No one wants to admit it. You know, it's not a matter of, it's not an argument. You can just go look and see that what I'm telling you is true. You don't have to argue or debate with me about it. You don't have to tell me what you learned at Harvard or Yale. You don't have to tell me any of that shit and how smart you are, because that don't mean shit. It don't mean dick. Never did. You were just told that it meant that you were somebody of importance because you knew shit. Because if you come to face that everything you ever heard, learned, thought, taught, program has been a lie, then yeah, I guess it's still good. It's good to know all the lies. I mean, I gotta admit. but you have to take them and know them as lies. You can't take them and say, just like everyone's going to do. When all this comes to light and everybody really is looking, and it might happen, it ain't going to happen due to me, but somebody might come along and get it all out there and show everybody this. And then um, if somebody who had a lot of subscribers, millions of subscribers, I'm assuming they'd probably be bumped off pretty quick. But if it did magically somehow get out there where the zombie slaves would wake up, my only hope, I guess, is if things get bad enough. But every time you're waiting for things to get bad enough for everyone to wake up, you realize, oh, fuck, man, I'm all on my own on that one. Because they're not going to wake up. They're just going to, you can show this to everyone, throw it in their fucking face, but it doesn't matter. They don't want to, don't matter the age, the race, nationality, language, doesn't matter. You show it to them, they run. They fucking run. They don't want to know it. For a lot of different reasons, for millions of different reasons. If you're somebody who's wealthy, you think in your mind, if I admit that I just seen this and now I'm able to see it, then I'm fucked. Because they didn't tell me about this in Freemason school. They didn't tell me about this in Illuminati class, you know. This is something that you just can go anywhere and see it for yourself. It's not something you got to go to school for. You just have to look. The schooling and the education was all about convincing you not to look and convincing you not to see it. The same way your parents did when you were walking down that trail when you were a kid and you saw it in the trees. And your parents told you cannot tell anybody. You cannot say that. That's not true, and they'll give you millions of reasons why it's not true. It just can't be, son. You can't go around saying that shit. You can use your imagination and see the elephant, and you can use your imagination to see the sea creatures, but you cannot use reality and say and make the claim that it's only feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast from the veil to the ground. You just can't do it, son. Look at this shit. Look at that fucking shit. There's a banging eye right here. Really, really nice, clear eye. And it goes with a lot of different images. I can go around in a lot of different ways, but right now you got the pupil of it really nicely. I mean, I can use that same eye because it's image within image with a lot of different images. There's another good one coming up right here. There's another good eye right here. That one, I can get the face really good on that one. See, the pupils are looking right at you. See what he's got for a head. Okay, so the real nice clear eyes, this one and this one, goes with that right there, right? Then I can come down to the next one, which is also a decent one with eye here, nose right here. I'll get my fingers out of the way for that one. And then he goes to a large image when I go like this. Let me see, I'll crop them in a different direction. Let's see. Yeah, it's all nice. Beautiful. Look at that, huh? So to continue pretending that we don't see it, we're so out of fucking time. People don't realize how out of time we are. And it's dickheads like that dude, guy number 2, that are keeping us from seeing it all. Because his family had to leave that store without ever hearing what it is I was explaining and talking about. So therefore, they're never going to know it. And if I was to run into them somewhere and show them this or explain it to them, their father would keep them from it. So we would keep our children from reality. And my family's no different, don't get me wrong. They're just his douchebaggy fucking, I can call it liberal douche or whatever, but it don't matter. The conservative Republicans are just as fucking dumb as the others. Everybody, it's just everybody. It's not even ignorance, it's called intelligence. They're all so damn smart, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're all educated. So therefore, they're not going to look at reality. They've been taught not to. I was saying the only maybe there might be a possibility for a huge wake up when things get bad enough. That's one of the reasons why they never let things get so bad. But right now, I mean, this is the end of everything, man. Especially in the United States, the whole Western world. This is the end. We're handing the reins over to China now. Admittedly, it's not a secret anymore. It never was a secret. I mean, they told us they were going to do this all along. We had presidents that came out and told us that we were going to be handing it over to China. And then we watched, like I said, the last 50 years, we watched all of our factories all go away, right? Where did we think they were going? They were just fucking closing down? No. Car builders, they were doing way better in China than we were here. So, of course, they were going to be top dog in the auto industry. All of our auto industries all went to shit. We don't even make steel anymore. We don't smelt anymore. We don't do shit. And then we were claiming that we made a lot of oil and dug up a lot of gasoline and oil from the ground. I mean, and pulled up a lot of oil, and we were the big producers. No, we obviously were not as compared to everybody else. That's why we went and had all these other wars in all these other countries. Look at this fucking thing. Yeah, it's all fucking lying ass shit, man. All lying ass shit. So what am I at? 1 hour and 42 minutes. These long videos don't usually even upload. We'll give it a try though. Come over here and let that run through.